whether these all are succeeding or not. It's cool that they're just, not.
It's different ideas. I like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're just giving their people a chance to do their own interpretations of what it would be like if they did this show. What I like also is that, damn, boy, people are scared of that N-word today.
I know.
Boy, they played the song Pusha Man.
Man, they sure did.
From what's his name?
Curtis Mayfield.
They played it. And at the end, because it's the lyrics go, I'm your mama, I'm your daddy, I'm that nigga in the alley. And when they got to that point, you could actually see them, I'm your in the alley. No. I was like, come on, y'all. Like, you gonna kill all these people, put all this blood up in here, and you can't say the N-word this one time?
That's in the song.
That's in the song.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm like, come, stop. All right? Everyone, do you enjoy Double Toasted? Then put it on your body. Check out our tpublic.com merch store where you'll find all these wonderful designs that look great on high quality t-shirts with more designs coming soon. Or check out other high quality items such as mugs, pillows, tote bags, and more. Once again, that is tpublic.com, teepublic.com, or click the link in the description below. People, The Boys, and I've said this, and I still stand by this, I think The Boys is probably my favorite superhero property out there right now. Some great storytelling, some awesome characters, some characters you love to hate that make an impression on you, man. There are some people who I just I hate them, but I wouldn't want to live without them. And it's just insanely violent and gory and just kind of sick and twisted.
This kid is full of surprises.
It shows you exactly how fucked up the world would be if superheroes existed. Yes. I love superheroes, love them to death. Over there. In
fictional.
Books and in movies. I do not want this in real life. No.
This is not human nature.
No. Once you realize you got ultimate power, you do whatever the hell you want to.
Yeah.
And that's not always a good thing. Most of the time it's not. But to really push the point of how much the world don't need no superheroes, and this is a world where they have these people called soups. And turns out that soups they're just corporate marketing, man. They're corporate property. They take kids, they give them this thing called Compound V, and it turns these people into super demented freaks. And to really pass the point along of how much the world does not need superheroes, they make it as gruesome and violent as possible. Yeah. They say, no, we don't think you understand.
Right.
that headless guy over there with blood spewing out his neck, that could be you if superheroes existed. We got the point. Amazon said, no, you didn't. No, I don't think you understand.
We got some more.
We got more.
You shot me. I'm having to go to therapy after those first 2 seasons. It's enough.
It's enough. I don't need any more of this. They said, no, you don't get it. And this time they said to really stress how much you don't need superheroes in this world because they're just crazy violent. The violence, we can't even afford to do it in live action anymore. We had to put it in cartoon form and animation so we could get in.
So we can trick your kids into watching it.
So we can take it to the extreme. Because, it's not just the budget either. These cartoon characters are doing things that, if you had live action people, it would just, you wouldn't need therapy after that.
I think if you tried to make some of these live action, even the actors would go, I can't do that.
I can't.
It's too much.
No, we're going to do it all in post. I don't care.
You would be.
I see what it's in the script. I can't do that.
Oh, no. You would be throwing up. You would be sick to your stomach. And I had to actually stop it there because I can't even show what came up next. There's a frame that comes up next where a dude got titties for a face.
Yes.
So it is very violent and very sexual, too, which they actually scoop up a big old heaping mound of an extra mound of that for this animated series right here called The Boys, Diabolical. Now, what this is an anthology series. It's 8 animated segments done by 8 different animators or animation studios with their own style. and it's all set within the world of The Boys, which again means it's very hyper violent and very sexual and very crass. So you saw all of them, right?
Yes.
I saw half of them.
Saw half of them. And again, I wish I had thought about this last week because I want to thank Amazon and for giving us the screeners to these a couple of weeks ago. And I had watched them and just thought I'd get so scared of these embargoes that I did not do it last week because I thought it was this week coming up.
I kept putting it off because we had stuff going, and then by the time I was like, let me sit down and watch this, it was like, oh, it's on already. Never mind.
Yeah, but hey, so it all kind of slipped on mine.
Yeah.
I'll be better about it. I'm just so embargo shy right now. But that being said, is it worth showing us even more violence than what we already have? Do we really need what? Because I heard some people saying, man, just give me the show. Don't be giving me these things right here. I see what you doing, Amazon. You just taking your time at that show and trying to give us something to sedate us until that point comes. No, I ain't falling for that shit. Give us the show. You can take this somewhere else. And other people are saying, well, you know what? I mean, Any Boys is good.
Any Boys is good boys.
Any Boys is good boys.
Better than no boys.
Better than no boys. And some people appreciate that they are having fun with this. Where do we fall on this? You saw half of it.
Yeah.
That's right. So where do we fall with this? Well, I will say, man, the old nostalgia kicked in with me on this because this was like you were probably like, I've reached that age where I could say you were probably like, I don't know, maybe 7, 8, 9 years old at the time. But back in the 90s, man, how old were you back in like 95?
Five
You were
or four.
5.
5 or 4 years
Okay.
old. Yeah.
So you were not old enough to do what Martin and I were doing back in the day. They had these tours of animation called the Spike and Mike Twisted Animation Festival, where it was nothing but adult cartoons that they showed. It also was a chance to put something out there for people who loved animation, but here in America, you know how it is. It's changing hence The Boys Diabolical. It's changing now where animation is no longer kid stuff. In fact, they might be trying to push it too hard on the other end sometimes.
Yeah, right.
But this was a chance for people who love animation and want to see adult animation, a chance to get together, go to the theater, have some beer, get drunk, and watch these crazy, sick cartoons. And it was a fun time.
I used to love to do that.
I used to love to do that too, man. So that's why this took me back to that in a way.
I see. Okay.
Because it was all different styles.
Yeah.
All of it was,
And they were shorts.
and all these episodes are 12 to 13 or 14 minutes apiece.
Yep.
So it was cool going back and seeing all these different animators put their take on this and do, again, this sick and twisted stuff. So did that nostalgia actually work for this? Well, listen, I say that this is set in the universe of The Boys, and I already explained to you, what that really means is it means that these animators were inspired by the tone of the show. I don't think a lot of these are canon. Each one of these does have a common theme that I appreciated. And before I get it, because what we're going to do here, we're going to just briefly go into each episode and see what we think about it. Not spend a whole lot of time, just talk about it briefly. But the common theme that I really love for these episodes here is nothing good comes from working with Vout. No.
Yeah. They do nothing good.
Yeah.
Vout, the company, now that's the company from the show.
They're about that bottom line. How much money we make.
They want to make money, so they're the ones that created all these superheroes, and they're all about making money, marketing these superheroes. Anyone who touches them or touches Compound V, either their lives are ruined, like you get divorced, you might lose a house or something. That's
lucky.
That's getting off easy.
Yeah, you got out.
Yeah. At least you have a way of getting out of that. But chances are, it's going to end with you being cut in half, head exploding, dick being burnt off. Something's going to happen badly.
It seems like exploding head is the most common.
That's the way to
fate.
go.
And that's the one. Yeah. I'd rather go out that way.
Sure, it's
instant.
quick.
Yeah, because there's some bad deaths on here, man. But let's see how this works out as far as putting these to shorts. So let's go through these one by one. And as I said, there's 8 of them. So let's start out with the first one. It's called Laser Baby, and it's a spoof. It's pretty much a spoof parodying the
Baby's Day Out.
Baby are Looney Tunes, man.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. I was like, oh, it's a Looney Tunes cartoon with accurate violence.
Yes, yeah, people. So let me see if I can actually find a frame of this. So this is the most this is probably the most cartoony one as far as like not being anime.
Most wholesome too.
The most, yeah, it is.
It's
man,
cute.
In its
It's very
own way,
cute.
it is.
Yeah,
in its
'cause
own way, it is wholesome. It's
happy
parodying
ending.
Looney Tunes cartoons. And when I say Looney Tunes, look, it's a lot of people gonna say we're talking about like classic Bugs Bunny and Wile E. Coyote and all that kind of stuff, and in a way that is true, but also, let me see here. I got to pull this up right here, but also this is more, when I say Looney Tunes, this is more like Animaniacs or Tiny Toons.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is, which also are very inspired by Warner Brothers cartoons. So I wouldn't say it really is going back to like classic Warner Brothers. It's mostly going to this style right here. But, having said that, man, it's also mixed with, and when we talk about the violence over here, we think of it as Animaniacs and Tiny Toons mixed with Itchy and Scratchy.
Yeah.
Ha!
Yeah.
Because as you said, Itchy and Scratchy, the joke was, what if the violence had consequences?
Exactly. Yeah.
If you pull somebody's face off, you're going to have blood in the skull and all that kind of stuff. So that's what this does, man. I think they picked this one first because I think they want to with people. Because when they picked that one, you look at the style that they have here, and if you don't know anything about the boys, if you just went into this being curious, you think that this might just be another kid's cartoon, and it is very cute with a sweet story, man. So what you have here is a Vought employee right there who bonds and falls in love with one of the Vought baby test subjects who is set for termination.
Right.
She can't actually get the desired skill that the doctors and scientists wanted to have.
She can't hit the target.
Yeah, so they're gonna kill her, man.
Yeah.
This guy here, of course, since he wants to adopt this kid because he's bonded with her, he has to try to help her escape while all the big Vought guards try to kill her. Now, fortunately, as we just said, she has laser eyes, so
It's in the title.
it's in the title, yeah, right there. And when that part comes in with her laser eyes, now this is the what the moment for people who don't know what they're watching.
Sure.
Right here. Her eyes eviscerate anybody that is standing in her way, just leaving pools of blood and severed limbs in her path. Because this really is a straight up spoof.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. 'cause
Of those Warner Brothers
'cause
cartoons.
Isn't there a cartoon, a Baby's Day Out or something? Because I was like, this is.
There's a movie, Baby's Day Out.
Is it a movie?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, because I know like in the old cartoons, not even before Animaniacs and all that, they've done that. They've done that with Popeye, where he's going after Sweet Pea and going up construction
Oh
sites.
yeah.
And
So it's all that from that old humor too, where baby always gets out and they have to get the baby or.
Yeah, it's also Tom and Jerry in there too. Like, Tom, take care of the baby, or I'll throw
Yeah.
you out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's just like that.
That's why it's spoofing all those old animated cartoons in that way by doing the timing of Warner Brothers stuff. And I gotta tell you, man, this one, as far as being a spoof, first of all, at the beginning it says like Vought Tunes.
Yeah.
I like
which is
that. Like classic Looney Tunes. Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing with this is that it has no dialogue.
Yep.
So it's spoofing those Looney Tunes cartoons that really rely more on visual comic timing. I was surprised that despite the insane violence that is in here, it was still so cute.
It was.
Sure that baby's gonna grow up to be a murderous sociopath.
Maybe.
But she's adorable now, man.
hey, maybe she won't
I think her dad will
Raise her right.
Raise her right.
I hope
yeah.
so. Vought done kill him
until she
first.
turns into a teenager. And she's
Well,
like,
true.
"Hey, you don't tell me what to do."
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn.
Exactly. What time is curfew again?
Whatever time you want, honey.
I'm just saying, maybe you should think about coming in a little bit earlier, but you don't have to. It's up to you.
12, 1, a week. I don't
Whatever you
fuck,
want.
it's whatever
Just
you
go
want.
home.
And like you said, it was one of the ones where because it's so cute and it has that old Looney Tunes style or that Warner Brothers animation style with Animaniacs or Tiny Toons or whatever. You don't really take the violence that seriously.
No,
Sure.
you're laughing at it most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, it's a message because a lot of these are very cynical.
Yes.
And this is one that says, you know
lot
what?
of 'em.
Yeah.
A lot of them, yeah.
Like, after this one, it's like, all right, here we go.
And this one says, like, love conquers all
Yes.
by violently killing anything in its path. So I thought that this was a strong one right here. It's a good one to start with. It's very funny. The animation is great. The comedy works out well. The spoofing works. You know, I really enjoyed this, man. Really enjoyed this one a lot. Right now, let's get to the second episode, which is this one's called, appropriately so, an animated short about Soups killing their parents. That's the explanation for it. That's the title, and that's what it is. So with this, the concept is simple. Oh, I can't put it on that one.
Yeah, can't do that.
I can't do that one.
Yeah, good luck walking around this one.
Yeah, let me see here. Damn.
Can't do that. Nope, can't do that.
Wow,
All right.
I can't do any of these here. Let me see here. Jesus, titty face is up my.
Boob face.
Maybe you just show us still.
That's what I'm gonna have to do. But this one right here, the concept is simple. They say with this one, shit kids with shit powers, and they are shit powers.
Yeah.
You know, with this they got one guy. Let me go and put this up here.
Pretty clever ideas of some of the powers, and like, oh wow.
I thought it was a mixed bag.
Okay.
With some, I was like, all right, that's kind of cool. And I was like, all right, now you're just throwing concepts together.
Yeah, this one here. So when they say shit powers, they mean it, man. They got a guy with a speaker for a head that the only time he can talk is when he can play "I Want to Be With You" from Hootie and the Blowfish. Another dude, and this is why I can't even show a lot of this. Another dude got titties for a face, and he's in almost every shot.
Yeah, boob face.
Boob face.
Voiced by Kevin Smith.
They're all rejected by their parents, and so they decide to get together and say, "Hey, you know what? Since our parents rejected us, let's just kill them." And so they track all their parents down, and they go on a murdering spree. If you want to see some of the examples of like these shit powers that they have, the opening is pretty innocent. I can do that.
A shit home for kids with shit powers. And that's Kingdom. He can turn into any animal. But he transforms body and mind.
So,
I like that
I
one.
like
a lot.
that one.
That was very funny. I was
Yeah.
like, oh wow.
no, that's funny right there, man.
I also like the kid who could turn into water, but can't do anything.
Can't
with it.
do anything.
It's just a pool of water.
It's like the Wonder Twins.
Yeah.
The power of a bucket of water. What's that gonna do?
think I got that.
At least he seems happy as fuck. That's Aqua Agua. He can't turn into a tidal wave or anything
Great name.
cool. He just sits there.
Yeah.
Because he's fucking
miserable.
water.
Yeah, that's a great name.
And I love the voices here because there's a lot like Kevin Smith does a voice.
That's Christian
But
Slater.
that's Christian
as the
Slater.
narrator.
I was like, is that Norm Macdonald?
I
at
thought
first?
that too at first. Yeah.
Before he died.
Yeah.
Thing is, and to be fair, if my son can only play Hootie and the Blowfish when he talked, I'd have to get rid of his ass too.
And that's how he kill you. He come back to kill you.
Yeah. I'd go ahead and just take it. I'll say,
Yeah,
son, if you don't,
all right.
you just have to understand. But this is, and now if that looks familiar, the art style, that's Justin Roiland.
That's his company.
Yeah, who did Rick and Morty. And, this is pretty much a Rick and Morty episode.
I mean, that's what this is, the Rick and Morty episode.
It's an interdimensional cable episode.
Wow, you're right. That's exactly.
Yeah. Just like some of those concepts, you go like, okay, I don't even know why you put that together. The idea of somebody's head is just a speaker that can only play Hootie and the Blowfish. That sounds exactly like one of those cable shows they would watch and then turn from.
Yeah. The whole, like Rick and Morty, the whole theme of science going horribly wrong, the humor, is kind of like is Rick and Morty humor.
How nihilistic it is.
Yeah, mostly gory deaths that happen. The dialogue, even some of the dialogue is from a Rick and Morty episode where people they got that stammering talk where they repeat themselves over and over again.
It's Justin Roiland doing Morty.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh God, I got a speaker for a head. I got a speaker for a head. What are you gonna do with a speaker for a head? They got that even kind of dialogue in there. Got to do paper, man.
That's right, paper.
I can find paper. Like paper, whatever you're looking for. Oh, you found it already. Oh, cool.
Jeez, I don't.
Yeah,
so much
man.
paper. Yeah.
I like it. Under's crass humor. They do make it emotional when these kids find out that their parents gave them away because they tried to give them superpowers. They gave them to Vought because they thought that they were going to be rich.
Yeah.
They thought that they were going to make these kids were going to be superpowered and they were going to be part of the team and then they'd be getting endorsements. And when they found out that wasn't the case, they give them away. So you're kind of happy to see these parents die. But also, this is another episode that's kind of scary because even though you feel for these kids and you want to see them kill their parents, it just, again, shows how dangerous soups are. If they're not kept in check, it goes to show you why they shouldn't exist.
Sure.
I mean, because they will go on a murdering spree at some point and do whatever they want to do. And I will say that the end of it, even though the whole thing is a Rick and Morty episode, the end of it is very emotional. It ends on a tragic note.
Yeah, especially with the Ghost Girl character. I mean, she was to me the heart of the episode.
She was.
And
Yeah.
I like the more dramatic stuff they did with her. Like initially, okay, it's kind of funny, but then it's like, okay, yeah, you can't make a series of this. But I did like her whole arc.
I didn't like this one that much. And what you brought up about it being a one-note joke, and especially with Justin Roiland, it just seemed, it was just more like, okay, this is what he does when he's on sort of autopilot. It's too easy to take stuff with the boys and go completely crass and violent. And as much as you are pointing out the little subtlety there, I was like, yeah, that's there, but there's all this other stuff where I just felt repetitive for the most part.
Episode 3. It's I'm Your Pushing Man. Now, this one's interesting because if you're a fan of the Boys comic, or if you're just a fan of the show, this would be interesting to see the roots of it. This one is actually written by the creator, Garth Ennis. And, it's pretty much, what's interesting about this is that it's animated with characters taken from the comic book where it all started. So, at least some of them. So instead of getting Carl Urban as Butcher and Jack Quaid as Huey, in this episode, you're getting the characters from the comic book. Mm-hmm. Butcher looks a little different. He's bigger. He doesn't have the goatee. And I'll tell you a little bit. I'm not going to tell you now because you already know. But Huey, he looks like the Huey from the comic who's inspiration from somebody who's already on the show. Well, actually, I can tell you now. It's
Simon Pegg.
Simon Pegg. The character from the comic was actually based on Simon Pegg from Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah, his likeness.
Yeah, and so Simon Pegg comes in and does the voice of the character on the show. I like the animation in this one. It's nothing new that you haven't seen. This is one that looks like Invincible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's
100%.
Yeah, it has the animation of Invincible, and with Invincible being so violent, this feels very much like an Invincible episode. But again, it's interesting to see what the characters would be like if they were taken from the show. I'm sorry, from the comic. And what this deals with is that Butcher comes in, and he hates Soups, and he wants to not only does he want to kill them, but he wants to humiliate them too at the same time. So he gets a hold of that drug dealer. Soups, yes, they have a drug dealer. He gives them those special drugs, those
Named
super
OD.
drugs. Yeah, and a lot of them just end up dying or whatever. But he wants a certain soup to be. He wants his drugs spiked, pretty much. I won't even tell you what the drug is. You'll have to watch for yourself. I'll let you watch that.
Yeah.
But he wants the drug spiked, and of course he has to have the dealer do it for him. And right here in this clip, you'll see again the comic book versions of Butcher and Huey.
No one's going to be looking at us, believe me. And I didn't want you to miss all the fun you have.
This one right here feels like there's a couple episodes that feels like they're connected to the show, or they feel like the show.
Right.
So this is the one that feels more like the show The Boys.
Yeah.
I keep playing this when I turn these dudes up. It feels like more like the show The Boys than them doing spoofs on this or doing their own thing. The only difference is, like I said, is that the characters look more like the comic book. I liked it. Again, it wasn't my favorite one, but it was interesting to see what they did. It was a good idea, I thought, taking the comic book versions.
It is. It's great to have that window into, hey, if instead of doing the live action with the way we've done it with Eric Kripke as the showrunner, if we had done an animated series based on the comic book.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's I don't say it's great, but it is interesting to see that. It also kind of underlines why the show is better than the comic book.
Yeah.
Yes.
It really, like, if you were like, man, if they just did it exactly, it's like, no, you understand. The show has actually taken this material and elevated it to a more mature level that more people can watch and really get something out of, where the comic was very edgelord, and this episode is just
The
very much
comic,
that.
I read the comic. The comic's explosive.
It is.
It's just doing it just to
is.
shock.
It's
Yeah, it is.
really mean-spirited.
Yeah.
That's why I couldn't finish it. I feel like this episode was more of this was an olive branch to the fans of the comic.
Yes.
It's like, okay, if you weren't a big fan of our live-action adaptation, here you go.
Whether these all are succeeding or not, it's cool that they're just, not.
It's different ideas. I like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're just giving their people a chance to do their own interpretations of what it would be like if they did this show. What I like also is that, damn, boy, people are scared of that N-word today. They
Yeah.
I know.
Boy, they played the song Pusha Man
Man, they sure did.
from what's his name?
Curtis Mayfield.
They played it. And at the end, because it's the lyrics go, I'm your mama, I'm your daddy, I'm that nigga in the alley. And when they got to that point, you could actually see them, I'm your in the alley.
No.
I was like, come on, y'all. Like, you gonna kill all these people, put all this blood up in here, and you can't say the N-word this one time?
That's in the song.
That's in the song.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm like, come, stop. All right? Put that nigga back in there. Now, this is where things really get interesting, because a lot of these, the first one's a spoof. That's cool. It's got a hint of the familiar. The others, the animation style is nothing that we are not, again, familiar with. The stories even, are, whether it be Rick and Morty style or somewhat like a Americanized animation style.
Sure.
The fourth episode is where things really got interesting, man. The fourth episode, in style and in story. The fourth episode is called Boyd in 3D. And the art style is what I really noticed first. This is done by a French studio called Folavari.
Okay.
And it felt like that, right?
Yeah,
it felt like it was
yeah,
from a European animation studio. This was written by an interesting person, Alana Glazer from Broad City.
Oh, okay.
And some other places, other things that you've seen. And you know what? What I appreciated about this one, I appreciated that this was more of a focus on character.
Yeah.
So this one is there's not a lot of gore or violence in this. So the story is, you have Boyd right here. He's in an apartment 3D. He's a meek guy who's living alone, who falls for this girl next door named Cherry, who has horrible taste in dudes, it looks like. Or maybe she's the problem. All I know is every time she pulls up and gets out the car, it's a different dude, and she's screaming at that guy.
Yeah. And he's get the fuck out of my car.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, get out, you crazy bitch. And Boyd sees this, and he's like, you know what, I'd love to talk to her, but he just doesn't have a lot of self-esteem. So he decides to go to Vought. Well, bad move. Bad move.
He's one boy up.
And he goes on he takes an experimental compound V, like they're doing trials with people. So he comes in, accepts, and they give him a new compound V formula where if you put it on, it's
in the form of a cream.
In a cream, yeah. If you rub it in your face and on your body, and you just think about how your most beautiful self, your dream self. If you just think about it, then it happens. But of course, this being VOD has some side effects, to say the least.
It's safe, right?
Now, Mr. Dune, we're not legally allowed to say you can trust us.
Little worms burrowing into my face.
That means it's working.
Working badly. What I love about this is, first of all, again, don't ever trust VOD. No matter how friendly those faces might be.
Yeah.
No matter how many smiles they give you. But I enjoyed this one, man, because I like the animation style a lot. And this was the first episode that really wasn't heavily relying on gore.
Sure.
Yes, this may be my favorite episode, because not only the animation style being something different, but that it did focus on the characters. It wasn't superhero heavy, it wasn't gore heavy. This is a story that happens in that world of the boys without involving the boys themselves.
Exactly.
And I was really going along with the story. I love the way it took you through the paces of this relationship of two people who are on this and how they get into a party Instagram lifestyle and where that goes.
Yeah, it's more sex jokes than violence, but it's also deeper. This is what I'm saying. A lot of these shorts have some subtext to them that I appreciate. You know, with all the sex jokes going on, if you look at it, though, it's more about being yourself and the trappings of vanity. And all of it leads to just being a shallow-ass person.
Yes.
So, you know, like if you got to take a cream to look like that, then, you know, go to the gym.
Yeah, or I mean, there's not even anything wrong with using the cream, and it's the same as like using makeup or wearing tailored clothes. But it's just what happens when, at least in your own head, when you think you're hot shit.
Well, I would only disagree in that putting on makeup and clothes, you can take that shit right off. This gets into your body.
Yeah.
This messes with your. That's what scared me. I was like, the moment I saw it, I was like, man, this dude's.
It's body horror. It's body horror.
Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. But you know, I don't know. I'm not. That's what I was
yourself.
thinking. I don't know. You know, you watch it for yourself because maybe it works out. You know. But what I was really, it was funny because I was really praising this for not relying on a lot of bloody death, and then got to the end. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
So-
Yeah.
I mean, at the end, it was just like, well, what did you think you were here for?
yeah.
We knew I figured that's how it was going to end. I was like, all right, shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
But until you get there, it's a fun ride.
It's different.
No,
It's, out of all of them, this was the one that felt like it could have taken place in the world of the show.
Every night, I wouldn't even want to date this girl, man, because every night she's pulling up in a different car.
Like a hassle.
Different.
I know. I was looking at Boyd like, come on, Boyd.
You do better. You do better, boy.
Don't do this, man. Don't do this. You know, you know, you got.
You seen her from afar, and you're having a fantasy play
Yeah.
in your head, and it's not going to be.
Man,
like
you got
that.
them creamy muscles now. You go on get somebody else. You don't need that chick, man.
Myself a new girlfriend. It's over.
It's over every night,
I
man.
know,
She
yeah.
pulls up. But it's a really fun episode, though. It's a really fun episode. I like what they were doing with that. And again, don't ever trust Val. No matter how happy those faces are, no matter how much they're smiling.
Maybe not there. Makes it kind of evil
Okay,
now.
yeah, that one. I can tell you. All right, there you
That's a
go.
little nefarious.
Yeah. All right, people. I ain't gonna trick you. I'm not gonna pull. I'm not gonna like slap you in the face with a segue. But I do have to. I do have to commit to my obligation here, and I do have to pay some bills right now. But I'm happy to do that again because I tell you guys all the time with most of the stuff that I am advertising on this show, I am actually very happy with them, or I think that you could use them. And Martin can tell you, we've been doing a lot of traveling. When I'm on that plane, what I got in my ears, man.
Oh, those headphones.
Got those Raycons, man.
There
Got
you
my
go.
Raycons right here. So I got these Raycon headphones, and yes, they did send them to me. I'm going to be honest with you. I did not go out and buy these. They sent them to me. But would I go out and buy these? Yes, I would, because I have been enjoying these, and Martin has seen me. If I wanted different headphones, I would go out and buy them. I'm talking about Raycon earbuds. Let me make sure I get that right. Not just headphones, earbuds, y'all. Raycon earbuds. These are the everyday buds. The everyday earbuds. And what I like about these is, first of all, you can't see it, but they got these gel tips right here, which fits nicely in my ear. Now, I've had some other earbuds out there, and yeah, I do have a problem with them kind of slipping out my ear sometimes. I've actually fallen asleep, like on a plane. I've fallen asleep and like had my ear like this, and I've had some other earbuds where I've done that, and they slipped out, and I had to find them.
Oh, and you had to get on your hands and knees.
I had to get on my hand and crawl looking like a dumbass, yeah.
Everybody's like, oh, come on, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah, no, these don't do that, man. They got these gel tips fit nicely in your ear. Now, what I really like about this, and I can truthfully say that the battery life is a big deal to me, because you get about 5 hours of playtime out of this, but the charging source here, that'll give you about 35 hours of battery life right there.
Kidding. That's awesome.
No, that is, man. And that's a big deal. Like I say, when you're traveling and you're working as long as I do, you know, you're going to need that. And the other thing with this, and probably the most important thing, like I said, I've had different earbuds out there, and if I wanted to get some more, I would. But they were more expensive. But these are about half the price of those earbuds that I bought and didn't like as much as these. Now, you heard me talk about these before. I've been wearing them when I'm traveling. Martin has seen me do that. I wear them when I'm working, especially now my wife is back. So I've been using these a lot, and I would not recommend them to you if I did not think that you would enjoy them. Save yourself some money, y'all, but get a great product right here with these Raycons. I like the bass in these too, man. The sound is very nice. BuyRaycon.com/toasted. That is BuyRaycon.com/toasted. That's TOASTED. And when you do that, you can get 15% off your order. I want to thank Raycon Earbuds for sponsoring this portion of the video. Once again, I want to thank you guys for your support, and for that support, get 15% off these earbuds by going to buyraycon.com/double-toasted. And thank you for everything you've done for us and your support. All right, let's move on to, we're at the halfway point, which is why I did that. Okay. Let's move on to which one is this? I think this is episode number 5. This one's called BFFs, and this one is written by Awkwafina. Now, people gonna either love this one or hate this one, and that's Awkwafina right there. That's her from my show Nora from Queens. And the reason why I put that up there is because you're either gonna love this one or you're going to hate this one, depending on how childish you see this. I think hands down, this is the silliest one out of every one of these episodes. Even for the boys, sure, which gets pretty goddamn silly sometimes. These episodes have gotten silly. This is the craziest one. People, the reason why I had Nora from Queens up right here is because I actually watched this show. I watched most of it on a plane. And if I've learned nothing else about Awkwafina from watching that show, I've learned this. This girl is proud of her farts and of her shit. She's the kind of chick that
makes sense then.
Yes. She's the kind of chick that'll take a shit and invite you to come in and look at it before she flushes it.
Okay.
Because somebody got to see this wonderful shit I just took. And now she decided to make a whole story about her shit. So you missed this.
You didn't get this far. This is, I don't know. It's unknown territory. Unexplored
this
for me.
girl is proud of her shit, her turds.
What the? Whoa! Oh wow! This can't be happening. This actually can't be happening.
How'd I get here?
Is that corn?
So people, there you go. A lot of shit humor. And it's funny because earlier in that episode where they said shit kids with shit powers, I didn't know we were actually going to get that later on in the show. So, yeah, people, listen, this because I know some people are saying, I can deal with blood and mangled bodies, but I draw the line at doo-doo. I draw the line at turds and shit humor.
Scat.
And scat. So, hey, you know what? If that's understandable. That's not your thing. But, I mean, listen, I didn't hate the episode. It's not my favorite. It was just, I can just let it go. This is one where I was just kind of like, well, what's up?
I was looking at Martin.
Yeah, I mean, so, hey, people gonna, look down at me, laugh at me, whatever. I didn't hate this one. I didn't love it. And it's probably, I tell you what I did like about it. It has one violent scene in it. And, and that's it. And so, listen, it's not for everybody, but it didn't bother me. I could take it or leave it. But I did appreciate that they tried to have a more positive, cute, uplifting part to this. Again, I said, this is Steven Universe. It has bright colors. Again, it's that kind of Americanized anime style.
Yeah.
The kids that grew up in anime.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's to me, it's out of all of them, it's the least harmless too. So whatever, man.
The least harmless.
Yeah,
okay.
That's
a way to look at it.
Yeah, it really didn't bother me, but I understand that it will bother some people and be like, that's just stupid. And I get it. But hey, with me, I was all right.
Well, predictably, I'm most people who goes, that's just stupid. That's so childish. Do we really have to for the full 12 minutes? It's about shit.
Yeah.
All right. That being said, there's some quality writing and acting that goes on in it. I wasn't digging this episode very much at all until the Deep shows up.
Yeah.
And when you talk about characters that you love to hate, the deep so fits in there where I'm like, yeah, dude, what you did was despicable, and there's no forgiveness for that. And at the same time, I do like that character. He's always pathetic, or he's just funny.
I don't know, man. I mean, again, this is what an anthology is, man. Everybody has their favorites and their least favorites. And, people disagree and agree. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, so I'm not, I expect people not to like the same ones that I like or dislike. And episode 6, Nubian versus Nubian, was probably my least favorite.
Oh, wow. That's one of my top favorites.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. This one's written by Aisha Tyler. And, and I'm not saying that is bad. And I'll tell you why I didn't like it. And I'm not saying I hated it. I'll tell you why I didn't like it as much. Because it has some really funny jokes in there, man. There's some good stuff in there. This one looks even more like Invincible, the TV show, which is also on Amazon, and it's also a very bloody superhero.
And also produced by Seth Rogen.
Yeah. And what's his name?
Evan Goldberg.
Evan Goldberg. Yeah. It has some... it was violent, but it wasn't as violent as some of the others because a lot of the violence takes place. You don't see it. A lot of it takes place off screen. The most violent stuff, and I don't think. Now you can leave it open for interpretation, but I don't think anybody gets killed in this one.
Right. It's one thing that they leave so open that I was just, when it was over, I was like, so wait, did they die or not?
Yeah, I want to say that.
So you can choose to believe that.
Exactly.
He's all right.
I think they probably didn't, but again, that, like Martin said, it's open to interpretation. But and like I said, this one, it has a cool setup. It's kind of almost taken. I don't know. You tell me. Do you think that they were kind of going off Black Panther a little bit with this one?
Not necessarily.
The reason why I said that is because one dude has a thick accent. And I thought, that was kind of just a nod since we already had Black Panther was so big. So you get these other black heroes right here that were, in this world, they were that equal level of success. And it's a story about two superheroes who meet each other while fighting and end up having a family later on, or at least a kid. Yeah, boy, I was doing the same thing. I was like, yeah, put that hand in that chin right there.
Your place or mine?
Boy, where'd that accent go?
Girl, I'm from Bakersfield.
So, that's why I thought they were doing a nod to Black Panther, because he had that accent that he dropped.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't think that so much. I mean, it could be, but...
Yeah, man. This one... so I'll tell you what I don't like about it. This one is one where the crassness felt like they were trying too hard. Like, the cursing just doesn't feel natural here. Like, the cursing is just... It feels like, again, like they were told to like do that as much as possible. Like they had a testicle joke in here that I thought was just terrible. But the animation's nice, and like you saw with that opening right there, there's some funny jokes in there.
Yeah, I really like the interplay between the characters, and as far as the cussing, with Aisha Tyler, that's really more her style. Her having written this, when she gets to cut loose, she's got a potty mouth. She's just more often than not, she doesn't get a chance to do that. But yeah, the back and forth with the couple that were so in love before and now they've been married for some years. They dig into each other all the time.
Oh yeah.
And there's just some things they drop about their relationship that I thought that's pretty funny. I mean, there was a point like after the last one, I was like, yeah, I'm just kind of not feeling these, and then this one won me back.
Yeah, I wish I could like this one more, man. So this episode is called John and Sun He, and the reason why this is so surprising is because, well, first of all, you can see that, not so surprising so much, but this, once you see a little more of this, it has a traditional animation style, or anime style rather. It looks really like either it's animated by a Japanese studio or a Korean studio. But the thing that really caught me off guard with this is that it's written by Andy Samberg. Mm-hmm. And you would think that Andy Samberg writing this, it's going to be some powers about some dude jizzing in his pants or having a box for a dick or something. You know,
He always be defined by that.
yeah. Well, he should have done it then. You know better. A box for a dick. Because he did dick in a box. He got a box for a dick now.
I love it.
Sex life is terrible.
The subtext.
I really thought it was going to be there.
And I can't take the box off.
Cool.
It's an old man trying to save his wife who's dying of cancer. And she, of course, they've submitted themselves to VOT for treatment. And that never goes right. And when he tries to rescue her from VOT, that only makes things worse. And of course, you can guess from that shit is not gonna get better. Her are probably this thing right here. This is more of a creature feature, monster episode right here. But think of it something like, what's that movie? What's that movie with the giant tadpole?
The Host.
The Host. Think of it like The Host, where The Host was very emotional, but it was done with with the backdrop of a monster movie, and that's what this is like, because this is an emotionally driven episode. That when not dealing with the death a lot. Yeah,
I thought I was doing nothing.
I mean, when they're not killing a bunch of, they kill a bunch of animals in this episode. They kill a bunch of people in this episode. But the whole thing is really about it's a sad look at a guy who he can't let go of his wife, man. The love of his life. He's having to let her go.
Somebody had an idea for something, and they had an opportunity to make something related to the boys, and they're like, well, maybe if we put this particular spin on it, just involve Vought somehow, we can go with it. And so it stands out more than the others as being unique, even though it is an anime style. It's not the traditional TV kind of anime.
No.
And it's unfortunate that it plays out in a way that almost from the beginning you're like, yeah, I think I know how this is going to go.
Yeah, and it kind of abruptly ends too.
It does.
It doesn't really have a conclusion to it. But I did like this one. I like this one a lot, mainly because I'm just looking at the art style here, man. I like the backgrounds. I like the designs of the characters. I like all the colored outlines. I like the way the backgrounds have lines on them.
The muted colors.
Yeah,
that's something separate.
So if you look at the trees with the line work on them and everything, so it's his own. Definitely stands out as its own thing, story wise and art wise. So I really enjoyed that one, man. This brings us to the last one here, and this one's probably my favorite episode.
Same here.
But this one is the reason why I like this one is because this is the one that even gives more backdrop to the character. Again, that it's everybody's favorite character. They love to hate him, but it gives even more story and backstory to Homelander here. So it's actually an origin story. And what's cool about this is actually voiced by Anthony Starr, who does the voice, who is Homelander on the show, and is kind of becoming Homelander in real life. Did you hear about? Did you hear about this?
No, what did he do?
Man, he's been playing Homelander a little too long, man. So this it got to him.
Yeah.
Some people, he's been living that character too long.
Method acting.
Yeah,
one
method
might say.
acting, man. So he went to Spain and beat up a chef, man. Yeah. The boy's actor Anthony Starr arrested in Spain for alleged assault. So there's some young chef about 20 years old went over there and started mouthing off and threw a bottle at him, cut him above his eye. We had to have stitches and beat the shit out this guy. So now
give him his milk.
Yeah. Like he's been playing that character way too long, man.
He could have used laser eyes on him.
If he had them, he would have used them. This is why superheroes don't need to exist. This fool went over there and beat up a chef in Spain, man. What I like about this is that this makes you feel bad for Homelander, because Homelander is like a person I thought I cannot have any sympathy for this guy. This episode shows what they put this kid through, man. There's these flashbacks that go on. It's like, Jesus, they really messed this guy up, man. And
what were they thinking?
Yeah, you feel bad for him. They did some things to him that turned him into this monster that he is, and he's also really confused because the company is constantly messing with his head, feeding him lies, putting these expectations on him, this pressure. So and with this, they also show you just how dangerous. Like, even when you're trying, Like Superman can go. If Superman was real, he could be trying his best, and he's gonna do something catastrophic.
Sure, especially first starting out.
Yeah, and that's what this shows here, man. This is Homelander first starting out, trying to be Superman, going in there, denouncing violence, no guns, wanting to help people, and he quickly that up.
It's hard to hold a gun when it's 500 degrees Fahrenheit. Oh, you idiot! It looks.
And as you can see, that did not go well.
No.
Yeah, even he was like, this is him. That was him trying to do. See, Superman pulled that before. And as you can see, Superman, a lot of things he do, but it would backfire badly.
Well, Superman went to school. he had a normal education,
and he was not abused as a child.
Right.
He had the Kents.
Yeah, like he was, like Homelander.
He went to Vought University, which was just hit your target and do this and torture.
You find out how this relationship forms between Homelander and Black Noir. And I'm gonna tell you, man, the episodes because they do fight in this. I'm just saying this because the animation is great when they're fighting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like this episode a lot, man. It's a great way to end this, and it feels like an episode of The Boys because I think I'm just gonna take a guess here and say this is the one that's actually connected to the series.
Sure. Yeah, it probably will be canon.
It's the most violent episode too, I think, outside of like comic violence, like the one in Justin Roiland one.
This violence has context.
But no, I said but it felt like the violence was for a reason. It's consequence and a lot of consequences, violent consequences in his actions. So it felt justified more than just like, well, you just got to put it in here because we gave you a handbook.
It just also stresses that if you're in a bad situation and he shows up, don't think, oh, thank God we're saved.
No, you know what? You'd be better off picking up a gun and shooting yourself.
Yeah.
Because he's gonna make it worse, whether he means to or not. Overall, now that we've gone through all 8 episodes, this is obviously first and foremost, this is a show for the fans out there. This is not really for newcomers, even though some of these can be watched. So if you're an animation fan, especially somebody who loves adult animation, it could be worth checking out for that. My only complaint with this is that, because I think having an anthology is a great idea. It's a great in concept. And I think it works for the most part because you can pick and choose what you like. They're only 12 minutes a piece. But my biggest problem with this is something I'm having a problem with Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg lately is that, man, they're just like, it seems like the cursing and the language, not the language, the cursing and the violence sometimes is there just because, man. It doesn't really fit too well. It's not written in well. It feels forced a lot. And they've been doing this with a couple other projects. We just got through talking about that Santa Inc., where the whole thing was just like, this is an excuse just to talk nasty and talk dirty and do a bunch of sex jokes.
So let's get these fucking kids some fucking presents.
Okay, wow, you said, all right, and I know I say that a lot, but I mean, really right there?
But right there, that's the joke, is that she said it.
Yes, that's
twice.
it. Let's just bring attention to the word. And it's like they do that a lot.
I said and kids in the same sentence.
Yeah. And it just, it's just beginning to wear on me a little bit because I shock value humor and cursing just to curse, just because cursing is edgy. This is something that doesn't appeal to me. You can curse all you want to. You can put as much violence as you want to in something, but I usually like for it to have a clever purpose.
I think most people feel that way. It's okay when it's in there some. It just shows like, okay, this is where we are. But when there's too much of it, it can be abrasive. It can be like, must we? We already get the point. My only 2 laments with this are that you brought up Spike and Mike. Sick and Twisted animation.
Yeah.
And when you went to one of those festivals and saw those animated shorts, they were all so different. And with this, they aren't all so different. Style-wise, we got a bunch that are anime influenced and some that are slightly different, but for the most part, they're somewhat homogenous. It's not a big deal, but there's the kind of thing where they go like, oh, an anthology with different styles. I was like, really wish we could have had some different styles. But my other lament is that you're right. This is for the fans of the show and the comic.
Yeah, what would you rate this series?
I don't know. I mean, I mean, it's still a matinee, but not a high matinee.
Yeah, that's it for me too. You know, anthologies are mixed bags, man. You know, it's rare that we get some that are just every one of them are hitting. And again, it all comes down to taste too.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, again, everybody's going to have one that you're going to like one that I might not like, and vice versa. So, but I did appreciate the idea. I appreciate the concept. I appreciate the different artists coming in and doing their thing. I would say it's a lot of fun. You know, not as good as the show. This is like an hour and a half movie when it's all together.
Yeah.
You know, it comes out to about like 90 something minutes. Even less when you take the credits off. So yeah, man, it's fun. It's
very bingeable.
Yeah,
I can say that.
If you have Amazon and you like animation or you like The Boys, it's worth checking out. And I had a good time with it, you know, to varying degrees. So yeah, it's a matinee for me also. Hey everyone, support our Patreon, which helps us to continue bringing you our live streams, videos, and podcasts while bringing you new content such as exclusive live streams and animated shorts.